Welcome here to more Talk FCB and welcome to the official announcement and the unveiling of the new Barcelona coach Ronald Koeman. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing exactly what Koeman said when he sat down there for the press conference, the changes that he outlined that he wanted to bring to the club in order here to get us back on track. And he's very much aware. This right here, it's a big challenge. There is no getting away from that. There's plenty to do and plenty to discuss. Let's do it. Because indeed, on Wednesday morning, Ronald Koeman was officially announced as the new Barcelona coach there on a 2-year contract until 2022. And he did there sign that contract in front of all of our eyes later on this evening. Following there, of course, is official release from the Dutch national team. And I just want to say on that, right now in the Spanish media, it's actually being reported that Ronald Koeman paid that release clause out of his own pocket. Now remember here, we're talking about several million euros apparently to release him there from his Dutch contract, and like I say, Koeman apparently paying that from his own pocket in order here to secure what he says is very much so his dream job. And in terms of the coaching staff that he is going to have here in the Barcelona dugout, as we spoke about yesterday over on Talk FCB, Koeman is expected to link up with Alfred Schreuder as his assistant coach, the former Ajax and Hoffenheim assistant, and there's also rumours now that former Barcelona player Henrik Larsson could also join there his backroom staff and be part of his coaching team. So that's certainly interesting there. Two good figures in Schreuder and also Larsson, who does know the club, had a very, very successful, pretty short spell here as a player, but certainly names to keep an eye on. But like I say, Koeman was presented at the Camp Nou this evening. He was sadly alongside their President Bartomeu. He held the shirt, all of that stuff, the customary presentation procedures. But shortly after that, Koeman did sit down. He faced the media, not like Bartomeu did last night, where it was an interview format, but he faced the media there head on in a traditional press conference. That's the way we like to see it, and this is what he had to say. Because Koeman's opening statement was basically there that he's very, very happy to be in charge and to have this opportunity here at Barcelona. He's very proud in this moment. He said, everybody knows what Barca means to me. This is my home. It's a dream that has now become a reality. He did go on to say, though, that he knew the team was in a difficult moment. He was very, very quick to say that in the press conference. He said he knew that it wasn't going to be easy because he also said, I expect the best. And he said to achieve that, we will have to make changes to this team. He spoke as well about the disappointment against Bayern and in particular the performance on the night. He said the image the team gave the other night is not the image that we want to give as a club. It's not something that makes any of us happy, especially the fans. He said now we have to get to work because we need to fight to succeed. He was then asked by the journalist about Dutch coaches in the history of Barcelona. So many exciting Dutch coaches over the years have come to the club. He was basically asked there, what stamp do you aim to put on this team? And he quite clearly said there, I would like to always have the ball. He said in the Netherlands, we always want to play football how it should be played. He said, I've been a coach now for many, many years. I've got the experience and I believe that I have the ability to bring Barca back to the top level. He said football is something that should be enjoyed not only by the fans but also by the players. He said that's one of the first things that I'm going to tell my players, that if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to do it as well. You have to enjoy the work you do. There was also a very interesting question there coming the way of Koeman when he was asked basically about when Pep Guardiola first arrived at the club and how he actually shipped out some big names like Ronaldinho, Deco of course further down the line, Samuel Eto'o, and Koeman was basically asked, could we see anything similar to that under your tenure? He said, right now I don't want to speak about names. He said we have to find the strongest possible lineup, we know that. He said there are certain players who have reached a certain age and as a result of that there can be doubts about them, but he did say we have to be respectful to each player, but we will work with the technical staff to find the best team and decisions will need to be made. He was then pressed again about those changes to the squad players that could be leaving, and I did sense a little bit of cautiousness in Koeman's answer on this occasion. He said, I don't necessarily think that every player who is 31, 32, 33, they're not necessarily done. He said it's all about the hunger. It's all about having the desire to win, working hard, and he did say, I only want to work with players who want to be here and want to give their maximum level for the team. He was then asked, of course, the inevitable question on Lionel Messi's future. He He was basically asked about whether he felt that he needed to convince Messi to stay at the club. Koeman came back. He said, I don't know if I need to convince Messi. He said, I'm not really sure if that's a conversation I need to have with him. But he said, for me as a coach, you want Messi in your team. You don't want to be playing against him. He said he's the best player in the world. He's got a contract at Barça. He said, of course I will speak to him, but because he's the captain of the team, and of course, we have to talk about the project. Another individual that was brought up was none other than Luis Suárez. Koeman was asked there basically, is this the end for Suarez? Could he be leaving the club this summer? But Koeman said, once again, I don't want to talk about those individuals. He said, apart from Messi, he said, in terms of players who could leave, he said, we have to respect all of them. He said, some decisions will be positive, some decisions will be negative. He said, the players do have contracts, but first, we will speak with them, and then speak with the club. So again there from Koeman, I feel definitely a little bit of cautiousness. I don't think he wants to outright come out, maybe not in the way that Bartomeu did yesterday, and outright name names, but it'd be interesting to see over the next few weeks what is discussed. One of the players, though, that he did actually talk about was Frenkie de Jong. He was asked there about where de Jong could fit into his system, and in particular, what role in midfield will we see him in under Koeman's control. And he did say that de Jong obviously joined Barcelona at a young age, said in his first year he played well, he had some good games, but he did say de Jong has been playing in a different position at Barca than I play with him at the Dutch national team. And he did say, not only in terms of de Jong, but all the players, said I want to find the best position for every single player where they feel the most comfortable to show their very best level. And if I did have to guess, I think we will see de Jong in his natural role. We will see de Jong holding in midfield. What that will mean for Busquets, it may mean a little bit more time on the sidelines. We don't know that yet, of course, but I do think there, Koeman, having seen what he did with de Jong in the Dutch national team and how well he played there, I think certainly de Jong, his future is in that holding role. And speaking of those Dutch players, he was asked there about potential signings, and in particular there the rumours we have been hearing about Donny van der Beek. And once again, Koeman not giving anything away. He said, I'm not going to talk about players who aren't here. We have to show everybody respect. He said the first thing we must do is look at what we already have and what we can use in our own squad. He did say van der Beek is a great Ajax player and also as well for the national team. But he also said it's the same for many Dutch players. So nothing given away there with regard to the reports we're hearing on Van der Beek. Finally, though, the most interesting answer for me came right at the end of the press conference when Koeman was basically asked here, do you feel as though you need a revolution? Do you feel as though this club here needs a big turnaround? And it was interesting there because Koeman said, in my opinion, it doesn't need a revolution. He said, we do need to make some decisions, which we'll talk about with the club to find out what's best. And if we feel like we need a change, we will change it. He said, above all else, what we need to see is a very different image to what we saw against Bayern. You have to show commitment and you have to fight to wear the Barça shirt. And I think overall from Koeman here in this first press conference, I think what we can take from this is number one, he is going to be here and he is going to take a very close look at what he's already got in terms of his playing squad, and then those decisions about players' future, then they can take place. I think right now, he doesn't really know what he's working with. He hasn't had any training sessions, he hasn't even had a chance to speak with the players, and I think there he is going to need a little bit of time to just see exactly where the players are at. But I think in his own mind here, surely he should have an idea, watching the way Barca played this season, about who's ready and who, quite simply, is not. I think what we saw today was caution from Koeman. I don't think he wanted to call anyone out. I don't think he wanted to make any brash statements. I don't think there's anything here that we can really cling on to. But I think the decision making and everything over the next few weeks, that's going to be crucial. It is going to be so important to see particularly who's moved on, who's moved out. Those are going to be the biggest decisions. Forget coming in. It's about this current squad, and it's about making the best of the players we have. And that does mean some of the senior players in this team, whether they leave or whether they don't, they have to now take a backseat role. There are young players, there are exciting players coming through at Barcelona. Now is their time. And under Koeman, I hope that we can see it. But like I said before, I personally are keeping those expectations pretty low because we've had a lot of disappointments, we've had a lot of setbacks, and quite honestly, I think that's the best way to approach what's the final year now, thankfully, of Bartomeu. So that right there, guys, is where we stand in terms of Ronald Koeman's unveiling at Barca. I'll keep you right up to date with everything that is going to be happening over the next few weeks, ahead, of course, of the new La Liga season. Thanks for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay right up to date here on More Talk FCB, and over there on the main channel, and in the Flick Chat too. I will see you soon. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.